Welcome to the ASEAN PMC 10+1 with New Zealand. As usual practice, as I mentioned to Gary before we start the meeting, please kindly gather on the stage to have the family photo.
Good day, Excellencies, distinguished.
Excellencies, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, please take a minute to listen to the safety briefing by the organizer.
Good day, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The following is a safety briefing. We are now in Summit Hall C, 4th floor of the Delegation Building of the Philippine International Convention Center. For your safety, there are 2 main doors, 4 emergency exits in this hall, as shown in the diagram. In case of an emergency, take one of the emergency exits out of this function room located to your left. These will lead you toward the fire exit staircase outside the delegation building. Flashed on the screen are other reminders in case of an emergency. Should you need further assistance, you may call any of our conference officers in the conference venue. For your convenience, restrooms are located outside this meeting room to your left. Each delegation is provided their respective country booth located at Forum 1, which can be reached by walking through the bridgeway past the plenary hall or through shuttle vans from the delegation building. Prayer rooms are located at the 3rd floor of the delegation building, room 308 for males and room 309 for females. The medical room is located at the meeting room 1 front room. You may approach any of the conference officers to assist you with the directions to these rooms. It is very important for all delegates to wear their ID badges at all times to have access to meeting venues. For transfers to and from PICC, kindly approach our officers at the transportation desks at the lobby of PICC and at the lobby of your respective accredited hotels. Thank you, and we wish you a fruitful discussion.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share, first of all, our appreciation to the Philippines for hosting our today's meeting. As the country coordinator of ASEAN-New Zealand dialogue relation, I would like also to warmly welcome Honorable Gary Brownlee as my co-chair, and also his delegation, both from Wellington as well as from Jakarta. 2 years ago, ASEAN-New Zealand agreed to elevate the comprehensive partnership into a strategic partnership. To guide the implementation of the strategic partnership, ASEAN-New Zealand also agreed on the Plan of Action ASEAN-New Zealand 2016-2020 through two strategies, namely the People Strategy and the Prosperity Strategy. We welcome the excellent progress in the implementation of the strategic partnership. We saw that out of 59 measures or activities, 52 have been carried out or is expected to be implemented. We also encourage the implementation of other activities in the near future. And I'm very happy today that we meet here and we will be able to discuss the implementation of the strategic partnership as well as exchange of views on a number of important issues, one of them, of course, in countering terrorism. And I would like also to thank New Zealand for your participation on the sub-regional meeting on foreign terrorist fighters and cross-border terrorism in Manado on the 29th of June 2017, and I do hope that we can strengthen our cooperation on countering terrorism also within the ASEAN framework. Mr. Co-Chair, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now I have the pleasure to invite my co-chair, Honorable Gary Brownlee, to deliver his opening remark. Gary, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Madam Co-Chair. Can I start by saying it is a great pleasure for me to be at the first ASEAN meeting that I'm attending as New Zealand's Foreign Minister, and particularly to do so in the 50th anniversary year of ASEAN. From the start, New Zealand had great belief in the potential for ASEAN and was very pleased to be invited to become the second dialogue partner to the ASEAN Forum. We see it as being a particularly important body to represent the aspirations of a region of the world that over the history of those 50 years has become progressively more economically important to the rest of the world, but also achieved an enormous amount for people who live in this part of the world. In the 1970s, a New Zealand diplomat suggested that New Zealand was putting its money on ASEAN with regards to its hope for regional stability. If you think about the type of conflict that the region was dealing with back in those years, then it must surely make the difficulties that we have in a security sense today much more manageable. And to have such an established dialogue forum, I think, will help enormously in that. And I do want to congratulate Indonesia for the forum held last week. I attended that. I think it was extremely valuable because it does send that serious commitment to the eradication of radical terrorism to those who would be its perpetrators. So in the next few days, I'm looking forward to hearing from ASEAN colleagues about how they see the relationship progressing with New Zealand. And I also look forward to announcing New Zealand's gift to ASEAN nations in its 50th year of existence. Can I conclude my opening remarks by congratulating the Philippines for being such splendid hosts, but also for providing a surge workforce into my home city of Christchurch at a time that we needed it to rebuild post the disastrous earthquakes we had there a few years ago. Madam Chair, those are my opening remarks. Thank you for the gathering's time.
Thank you very much, Minister Brownlee, for your statement. And we shall now proceed to the closed session. So may I request the colleague from the media to kindly leave the room.